Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
How would you like to achieve your first million? And today we have Iain, the founder of Klozers, based from Scotland. So Iain, tell us, what are the 5 steps that you recommend entrepreneurs out there to make the first million?
Harry, thank you for inviting me on your show. And
Pleasure.
I'm going to refer to some notes if you don't mind.
Of course.
The first step is, and maybe you recognize some of these things, so feel free to jump in. The first step is to understand that success starts and ends here. It's all about your mindset. It's all about your mindset. And unfortunately, most of us, and I include myself in this, struggle because we have fear, anxiety, self-doubt. The inner voice in our head is telling us, we can't do this. You're never going to be able to do this. The superpower, the magic wand and the silver bullet for success that everybody's looking for is in here. Your mind is your superpower, and that's the most important thing that you should be focusing on. Because, and forgive me, I'm not quite sure which of the neuroscientists like Joe Dispenza, I think it was him that said this, your personality creates your personal reality. So your external world is simply a manifestation of your internal world. So if you want to be successful in anything, it doesn't matter about the money, being a millionaire, that's great, but it all starts in here with the mindset. Does that make sense, Harry?
100%. I agree 100%. So what would be the step number 2?
Step number 2, and these are maybe going to be, I could be accused of these being linked, but step number 2 is you've got to be hungry. Now, you're a great motivational speaker, Harry. I'm sure you've watched Les Brown talking about being hungry, right? That the great speaker, Les Brown. You've got to be hungry. You've got to wake up with a smile on your face, and you've got to wake up and go, you know what, good things are going to happen to me, right? And I'm going to make good things happen for me. There is no, there is not necessarily, the world isn't necessarily fair. It's not necessarily easy, right? But you've got to actually go out there and make things happen for yourself by being hungry for your own personal success. And if you can be successful, I'm pretty sure people like yourself, Harry, you would acknowledge that whilst being a millionaire is great, the money isn't the issue. It's what you can do with the money. It's the options and the choices that allows you to do, and the things that you can do for your nearest and dearest, your loved ones.
Absolutely.
So, number 2 is be hungry. Number 3, and again, this is maybe a little bit linked, but I'm of an age where learning was really only ever done in a classroom. Now, there is no barrier to learning other than our appetite. Our appetite to learn is the only thing that's stopping us, because if you go on YouTube, if you go on the internet, if you type in "how do I," somebody's done a blog post, there's a PDF, there's a mini course, there's a YouTube how-to video. Right? There is all these resources from really clever, successful, independent producers that you can learn from and keep moving forward. So the only barrier to learning is our appetite. And that's why you get some amazing people from I hope I don't offend anybody, but you get some amazing people from third world countries who are absolutely so good. I've got such great skills because they're on the internet learning everything. You don't need to go to university. You don't even need to go to school, right? Every day is a school day outside of school. You'll learn much more right? Using the internet, and yeah, there's some bad stuff on there, but there's only bad stuff if you go looking for bad stuff. I've never had bad stuff pop up out of nowhere. If you focus on different things, like even Twitter, forgive me, X, there's some amazing learning resources on X. I've never for the life of me seen any porn or anything like that. I'm not saying it's not there, but if you go looking for good stuff, you'll find good stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then like for example, there is a book that say why students A work for student C. So sometimes it's a book of Roy Kiyosaki that talks about that. So sometimes you go to universities is you can have it can land you a very good job, but probably you will be end up working for an entrepreneur who owns that business.
Yeah, that's a great point. You'll end up working for an entrepreneur. And just as an example, one of my daughters chose not to go to university. She's 23 years old. She earns more than all of her peers who went to university.
I believe you. I believe you 100%.
Right? Your university degree will get you your first job and maybe your second job. But your mindset, your work ethic, and your attitude is what people are after.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what are the next step? Step number
Okay,
four.
next one. I'm not an expert on this, but digital, right? If you're starting any business, you've got to think digital first. You've got to think, okay, so what can I do that is scalable? Because and that inevitably is going to lead you to some form of digital solution. Now, that does not mean that you have to be a technology specialist or a programmer, but you can go on some of these AI tools at the moment, and you can say, I want you to create X, Y, Z. Talk me through, give me a step-by-step guide how to create a piece of software, and it will tell you how to do it. It will actually do a lot of the heavy lifting for you. As an example, if you go to our website, Klozers.com, well, you don't even need to go there. Search coaching for entrepreneurs. When you go to that website, there's an online quiz built in some form of computer code. I have no idea what the code is, but I did that on my own using Claude AI. You don't even need to be a computer technologist now to have, to be successful digitally. The technology is amazing and it will only ever get better. So, if you want to be a millionaire, there are so many different ways that you can use AI to actually create a second income, which would become your main income.
Excellent. And what would be the step number 5, the last one?
Okay, my last one is you're gonna have to be resilient, because life does not go up in a lovely trajectory. You're going to hit bumps along the way. You're going to get distracted along the way. Some things are not going to work, and you're going to have to double down and try a second time, or try maybe a different route to solve the same problem. But the easiest thing is to give up and not try. That's the easy route. And in life, anything that's worthwhile is going to take time, and it's going to take some level of effort and energy. So, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. If you look at your successful YouTube channel there, Harry, how many hours have you put into this? Not just in recording, but behind the scenes. You've put years into this, right? So, there's a lot of hard work goes into it, and you will hit hiccups and bumps along the way. We still have hiccups and bumps. That's just part of it. It's part of learning, and when you do hit these problems, it helps you become a better person. It helps you become stronger, and it's all good. It's all good.
I'm glad you mentioned Les Brown. Just before this broadcast, we have a meeting now with the main promoter of Les Brown here in London, and she's a good friend. We're actually planning an online event where I will be speaking along Les Brown in that event. It's coming
Fantastic.
in 2 or 3 weeks, and And we're also preparing a live event in London. I have the pleasure also to share the stage with him in 2018, and it's amazing, right? So great speaker. So I'm glad you mentioned him. One of the in my opinion, the greatest motivational speaker of all time. And he always said you have to be hungry.
Isn't that serendipitous, though, Harry? Isn't that serendipitous? I did not know. You hadn't shared that with me. I did not know you were going to say that. So,
Yeah.
quite
It's like
serendipitous.
the law
Yeah.
of attraction. Actually, right before this podcast, we are doing a meeting because we're producing the online event with Les Brown that will take place in the couple of weeks. It's gonna be online. I will send you the details so you can come and see him speak. So
Yeah,
it's free and
please
it's
do.
online. Yeah. So
Yeah.
then Ian, so tell us why you decide to become an entrepreneur. You were talking about the university, like for example, my parents, they were teachers, right? So they always tell me, go to university, go to study, and you're gonna be okay. So I went to university, I got the the degree in chemical engineering. I never exercised as chemical engineer, and it never solved any problem to my life. I never worked as chemical engineer. It kept my mom and my dad happy, but apart from that, it was 5 years that I was there. So tell us your story. Why you decide to become an entrepreneur? What happened?
So I'm slightly different to a few people. I did not go to university either. The first time I went to university, I was actually teaching, and
Wow,
uh,
that's
for, for
amazing.
for 2 or 3 years ago, I used to teach on the Masters in Entrepreneurship at Strathclyde Business School in Glasgow.
Wow,
I don't do that
impressive.
now, but that was my first actual time in a university building of
You
any
went there to
description.
teach,
So
right? Wow, that's amazing.
yeah, so maybe like a lot of entrepreneurs, I fell into business. I was working in a sales job. I was not particularly happy. I resigned, decided, what am I, or thought to myself, what am I going to do now? And somebody came up with a business idea, and I went, okay, I'm just going to try that because I had nothing else. I ran that particular business, which was a recruitment business. I
Oh,
ran
wow.
that for I ran that for I think 5 years with 27 employees. Uh,
Wow.
it was a nice little business, but it was not. It was not. You don't wake up in the morning and think, "Oh, it's great to be in recruitment." It was just something
Well,
to
not your
do.
passion, yeah.
It was just something to do. So I moved on from that business, and I got into sales because I've been in sales all my life
That's what you
since I
love, yeah.
left school. So I run a sales training business, and the great thing about my job is that literally every day is different because I get to meet so many different people. Today, I've already been training some folks in Lithuania. I've got some people
Wow.
from the UK after this call, and I've got some people from India tomorrow. So, and they're all different businesses, but the one thing they've all got in common is that uh, they're salespeople and they want to do better. They want to sell more, and that learning starts in here, and that's the most important thing. If you don't want to learn, nobody's going to teach you anything, right? You've got to want to learn, and I'm in a fantastic position now where I get to work with salespeople and I get to see their results, and sometimes they come to us and they're doing really well and we help them be even better. But sometimes they come to us and they're maybe struggling, and those are really good ones because I love to see them turn around, and I love to see them really progress. And here's a little story that I know you're going to love, Harry. So this particular person that I was coaching, uh, this person had a sales target of 15 sales per week. And at the time I started coaching this person, I think they were on 5 or 6. And I said to them, there's going to be a lot of skills that we're going to give you around, soft skills, communication, questioning, presenting, closing. We're going to give that. But the most important thing I want you to do is I want you to say this to yourself every day and every night. I easily close 15 sales every week. I easily close 15 sales every week. I easily close 15 sales every week. Within 2 weeks, this woman was closing 20 sales a week.
It was all on her mind, right? The limited belief, exactly what you spoke at the beginning. The mindset of the entrepreneur is everything. And but let's talk about this, because a lot of people say, well, I don't like sales, somebody else have to sales. And they don't realize, like, for example, this is my own story, right? The only way that that I could my office, when I started my first business, was a property business. We managed to sell over 5 million. And it went to the point that I went to the office and my team told us, Harry, we don't need you. You can go home. We have everything under control. But the main reason that all this was possible is because our sales increase. And because our sales increase, I managed to hire salespeople better than me. I managed to find the other people in the team. Literally everybody in the office was better than me at everything. But this is only possible because I increase the sales. Because I increase the sales, you have an extra money, and then you can hire people. And people will do amazing things because they are specialized and they can do. So entrepreneurs, sometimes founders, we have that they have an issue with sales. I don't like sales, or somebody else handled the sales. I want to pay very little to the salespeople. No, that's too much commission for the salespeople. You hear that a lot, even in big companies. Even in big companies, we do some corporate training. We hear that. We hear tech companies. Somebody told me a story the other day that, they are a tech company that they have, the contracts, they are multi-million pound contract, they have really large contract, and the sales team is still, after a year and a half, they haven't received the commission, how much commission they're gonna get, and you're talking about large contracts. So I'm like, man, how you can get a sales team like that without you guys, seeing what it on the stage, that when this guy closed, and it takes time, this large contract, you have to nurture the client, you have to have a lot of meetings and everything. How are people gonna be motivated if you guys not even tell them what is the percent of the commission that they're gonna get, apart from obviously the salary, right? So why do you think that people have a misconceptions about sales without knowing that the only thing that will set you free in life as an entrepreneur is increase yourself, full stop. I done it. I live it myself. This is no story that I read in the book. I know this is how it works. So why do you think there's so much resistance? Why do you think that people have this negative connotation about sales? With actually, if you're in business, this should be your priority.
100%. Sales must be a priority, and sales allows you to solve nearly every other business problem. It allows you to, so that revenue allows you to solve nearly every other business problem. Unless you did something that was breaking the law and was going to put you in jail, money's not necessarily going to help that. But every other business problem can be solved with revenue, sales. Absolutely. And revenue. So it's really, really such a priority. So a couple of things I would suggest.
What message you have with the entrepreneur? Because when I meet founders and in the startup space, in the founder space, in the technology space, in even, they're taking sales as the last thing. Okay, this is the sales people. Okay, let's try to pay them as less as possible, give them less commission, let's focus in the product. We need a great product, because when we have the great product, and we need a brilliant accountant, and we need this, and let's put all the energy and all that. I don't say that this is not necessary, but there is a very negative connotation on some of the funding, and that's why. And then you find them struggling, that they cannot find funding, they cannot find the business is not moving, and we are like, man. So so what message do you have? One message, really honest, from the bottom of your heart.
Let me try and help you. Let me try and help you diagnose that problem. Number one, most entrepreneurs have got a product-centric business, not a customer-centric business. And what they do is they focus on the product, the software, the widget, whatever. They focus on that at the expense of talking to customers. They don't want to go and talk to customers because customers have got this habit of saying no. And rejection is very difficult for everybody, but it's more difficult for them. And it's easier to stick in your comfort zone and spend all day in your office working on your product than actually take your product and go and actually get some genuine feedback.
I agree.
And then have the intellectual humility to take on board that feedback.
Absolutely.
You've got to have, just because you've got 73 degrees and you're an expert in ABC does not mean that the product that you give to the customer's feedback is irrelevant. They are going to be paying you money, so you've got to listen to what they're going to say.
Mm-hmm.
But you've got to get out of this habit of taking rejection personally, right? When they say no, right, it's not no, I hate you, Harry. It's no, that's just not the right product for me. It's not the right time for me, right? It's not no, I hate you. Go away, you horrible person.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Let me tell you a story. Yeah, in our property business, yeah, I didn't have any clue about business. Yeah, somebody told me, "Oh, you can make money with the property and everything." I was not passionate about. I'm the same your boat. Somebody told me you can make a lot of money in the property. I want to make money, so I went to the property. I cannot like it now. It's not my main passion. My main passion is this podcast, is do online events and live events around the world, training and coaching people. But this is what I'm passionate about. But back in the day, I was starting my first business and I was renting rooms. Yes. And then I'm going to show the room for the first time. And the person that comes, yeah, is a boy. And the boy could go and see the room. And I said, look, this is the room. That's how much I'm renting it. Do you want to take it? And the boy told me, you know what? The problem with this room is that you need a little bit of painting. Yeah, it's no, is if the room were painted, I will take it. But like that, no, I'm leaving. And as soon as the guy left, I'm thinking, man, this guy only need me to paint this room to take it. So I went and I painted the room in white. Remember, yeah, myself. Then I have another viewing, and then it come in a girl. And I gonna show the room to a girl. I said, look, what do you think about the room? Do you want to take it? Look, it's painted, it's clean, right? And the guy come and say, yeah, but it's a little bit cold, you don't have any painting, any decoration. No, it's too cold, this room. I'm not gonna take it. Then as soon as this girl left, I went to IKEA and I bought like a painting in black and white and put it in the wall. I bought a covered bed that was orange. She said that was cold, so the bed sheet was orange, red, and pink. Very warm. And I think that I bought in the Chinese a vase with a flower for a couple of pounds, and then I put it next to it. Guess what happened? The next person is a girl. I opened the door. I said, "This is the room. You wanna take it?" And the girl said, "Yes." And that's what I learned. The big lesson what you're talking about, that is not the product that you want, is what they will tell you. The client will tell you what they want to buy. For that, you have to talk, you have to take the reaction, but you have to embrace it in a positive way, because it's gonna be them, that client, who actually is gonna shape your product, not you in front of the computer. And I agree 100%. Probably the source of that is like that while you're developing the product, you are in your comfort zone, nobody's telling you anything, nobody's rejecting you. But on the other side, it's also about mindset, how you view the things. If somebody said, I don't want your product, and you're gonna take it negatively and you're gonna make it about yourself, well, this is a problem then. But if they say, well, I'm not gonna buy your product, you can ask why you don't want to buy it. The client there, the prospect is gonna give you clues, why they're not buying. And now you can reshape your product and make it happen. So I think that, like you said, everything is on your mind. So in your coaching, do you help entrepreneurs with the mindset? Can you help?
Yeah,
Good, great.
many of them, because many of
Limited
the
belief, right?
entrepreneurs are, they are, as we said, they're product centered, and many of them come to us, and we specifically do what we call executive sales coaching. So it's not business coaching, it's not personal coaching, it's executive sales coaching, helping them grow their business. And many of them come to us, and they're quite a few of them are struggling. So they revenues are not what they should be, and in nearly every case, they are mentally in the complete wrong space. They're going in to visit customers, and they're anxious, frightened, worried. They've got all this. The inner voice is all negative. They very often are overly self-critical, thinking, I'm not good at this, and I'm not good at this. Excuse me. And I mean, there's one lady in particular, the CEO of a company in London that we're coaching at the moment, and they had not sold anything for 9 months. And within, I think, about 6 weeks, we got her first deal,
Oh,
another
wow.
deal, and then she's now on a roll.
Wow.
And the main thing, and this is from her, not me, whilst she comes to us and asks us questions on strategy and tactics, the main thing that she says is that her mindset, she's much more relaxed. And because she's much more relaxed, when she goes into a meeting, the meeting is much more relaxed. Before, she was all tense and nervous and anxious, and she didn't realize it, but that energy, it creates an atmosphere in the room. And I always say, Harry, that prospects and customers, they're like Dobermans. They can smell the energy. They can smell what's happening. And if you're desperate, if you're worried, right, it doesn't matter what it is, they can smell it, and it really puts them off. It's like a sixth sense. And many people will say, when I'm coaching these people, they say, "Nah, this is just like made up stuff." And I say, "Well, look around you, right? And point me to your Wi-Fi connection. Point me to your Bluetooth connection." And they'll say, "What do you mean?" I say, "Well, where is the Bluetooth connection in your room? Point, right?" And they'll point to the device. I say, "Yeah, no, that's the device. Where is the energy? Where is it?" And they say, "It's all around." I said, "Yeah, but you can't see it. Your energy, when you go into a sales meeting, your energy is all around." And the easiest example is that, if you can imagine going in, before you go into a meeting, you check your phone and you get an email from somebody saying, "Okay, your top client says you're fired." Are you seriously going to tell me that you've got the right energy and the right mindset to go into that room, right, and do the same or as good a job as you would do if you picked up your phone and you got a new deal worth 100K? Of course not. But because I can't prove it, right, and a lot of people would just ignore it. But the ones that don't ignore it and take it on board, they just fly. They just fly.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a documentation written about that. It's at the end of the day, the first part of any sales process is to create relatedness, to create that connection, and because people buy from people that they like and trust, and if you're coming from the space of anxiety, you're nervous, you are insecure, you have the limiting belief, right? Regardless, your product could be amazing. Your product could be amazing, but if you have this limiting belief, oh, this person gonna tell me this person gonna, and you go with that mindset, that space, which is number one, which is created the relatedness, the connection with that person, the person's not gonna feel that energy. And from there, they're not gonna like you. They don't like you. They don't trust you, and the whole thing scale. But the entrepreneurs, at the end of the day, like you said, they are product centered because I think that they don't know any better. I think that the information, the source of information that they are receiving, right, is like, okay, just design a product, yeah, and then sell it, and that's it. And this is not how it works. Is design a product, talk to prospects, listen to them, let's see if they like it, change it, and then go out and sell it. So this piece in the middle is always missing, and that's why we find, unfortunately, people are struggling out there, having really hard time. Sometimes they're working Monday to Sunday, 12, 14 hours a day. They cannot speak with the daughters, they cannot speak with the family. They have problems in the relationship, they have lack of sleep, and that emotional pain can lead to physical pain, can give you a heart attack, can give you cancer.
Definitely.
So and it's only one way out of this. Maybe you need a coach that tell you, look, this business is not working and it's never going to work for this and this and this. You have to reshape the product, or do something else, or you need a person that teach you how to sell. Because if you increase your sales, you won't be working. It doesn't matter which business you are. You won't be working that many hours, and you can spend. I believe, Ian, that the entrepreneurs deserve the best life ever. They take a lot of risks. I mean, we are people that we take a lot of risks. We create jobs for society. We are, if we go to a bank to ask for a loan or for a mortgage, they tell you that I'm a big risk. You know, they prefer to lend the money to my employees. That's unbelievable. But this is how they, to the employees, they lend it easy. Then we go that we are, they always say, no, you are a huge risk. No. So I think that they think that the employee can find another job and it'll be okay, but the business collapse. I mean, they have the point, but so we take the heat from every space for society, and so the entrepreneurs deserve to be recognized, and they deserve to have a beautiful life. Now, only this will happen if you can sell your product effectively, and if you can increase your sales without and you have to be very good. Now, this is what I think. I think that everybody, because some people say, no, I'm not good at sales, I'm bad at sales, I have an issue with this. I think that when it comes to entrepreneur in general, entrepreneurship in general, and also sales is part of the entrepreneurship, it's not about I don't know how to sell or anything. It's a skill. It's like driving a car or swimming. The more you practice, the better you become. I didn't know how to sell. Nobody, but you try to sell the product again and again and again and again. And after you speak with, I don't know, if I tell you how many prospects I spoke in my life, probably 10,000 people offering them different products, everything. So you develop the skill. And the more you practice, the better you become. That has nothing to do with talent. So I think that they sometimes in the mindset of the entrepreneurs, they say, well, I'm not good at sales, or I cannot sell my product, or I'm gonna hire someone to sales rather than me, and so on. It's because they want to go through the process to develop the skill. And this skill is key, because the more you practice, the better you become. They have nothing, there's nothing special about Ian and Harry that they said the pro. We only have done it so many times, practicing and practice, that eventually you learn the skill. And that's why you can coach these people, because you have a skill. What they are doing is, rather than, because trial and error is really expensive, rather than speak with the 10,000 prospects, well, now you have the experience, so you can shorten the path, which is amazing. This is a question I want to ask you. When it comes to coaching and coaching entrepreneurs, I think that is the best thing that can happen to entrepreneurs, is to find a mentor and to have a coach. So what do you think about entrepreneurs out there that they don't want to hire mentors, they don't want to hire a coach, they want to do everything by themselves?
So I think that's a great question. If I could just go back to something that you touched on earlier, you talked about how our mindset, our mental health affects our physical health. I don't have the statistics for entrepreneurs, but because they are, in most cases, trying to sell, it's going to be similar to salespeople. 43% of salespeople suffer from symptoms of, stress and anxiety. 37% of salespeople suffer from symptoms akin to depression.
Wow.
So, right, it absolutely, that data absolutely speaks to what you said, Harry, about your mental health is going to be affected by your physical health. And one of the things that we say when we're doing it right at the start of the coaching, we say to them, right, if you want to be successful, right, you have to focus on three things in this order. You have to be happy, regardless of what's happening in the world. You've got to be happy. If you're happy, you're more likely to be healthy. If you're happy and healthy, wealthy is the thing that is the outcome from those. So we go
I love it.
HHW, happy, healthy, and wealthy.
I love it.
Why do they not? Why is this resistance to maybe having a coach or a mentor? I'm not 100% sure. However, if you think about this, Harry, many of these entrepreneurs will have invested, maybe them or their parents will have invested at least 20,000 sterling, in a university degree. They will be running a business that continues to invest in technical training for their developers and their software engineers. But they won't spend any money on sales training for themselves, or their salespeople.
Or hiding a coach.
Now, tell me how that's going to work. Right?
The other day I have an interview talking about what you said about the university. Yeah, I think that there are people that come to me and said, Harry, I want to do the MBA, and I opened I had the restaurant in Brick Lane in London. Yeah, I got one of these ideas that was a disaster. I call it Harry Spanish Tapas. Yeah, and I create the first halal non-curry restaurant in Brick Lane in London. It was very unique idea. It was that unique that it was way too early. Well, long story short, I lost over 200,000 pounds and 2 years of my life working in that thing Monday to Sunday, trying to make that business work. But now when people go to university and they're telling me I'm gonna spend the money in the MBA, I just tell them, look, if you really want to learn about business, open a restaurant. Open a restaurant and you will see how quickly that's the best MBA that you can have. Yeah. But also talking about the coaching and mentorship, I was speaking in the previous podcast with one person, and he did ask me a question. He told me, Harry, what are the fastest way from point A to point B? And I said, well, the fastest way is the straight line. And the guy told me, no, the path with less resistance. Think about the river, right? And by you having a coach and a mentor in your business, you're going to find a path with less resistance, because trial and error, you might think that you're going in a straight line, trial and error, but us that have done the trial and error thing, is expensive. It's just very expensive, and sometimes it will get you nowhere.
Yeah.
Because I agree that you do have to develop the skill, but if you have a mentor, you have a coach that can guide you into the path, that's gonna make all this process very smooth for you, and you will go into a path with no resistance. I think that and the other thing regarding sales is that all the multimillionaires that we interview in this podcast have been already a lot, probably more than 250, probably close to 300 now. And I haven't found any of them yet that tell me, oh, I hate sales. All I have no one. Yeah. All of them, when you talk about sales and marketing, you see how the eyes shine, that they can talk for days about that, how passionate they are, so if people, if you want to, I always say this to people as well. I said, look, if you don't want to have money problem in your life, you need to learn how to sell. You will have other problems. Yeah, you might have problem with your wife, you might have problem with your kids, you might have another problem, but you won't have money problems if you know how to sell, because you always can have a product and you can make as much money as you want selling that product. But there is the real skill, the real thing that will make you free is not having a great product, is know how to sell that product. So for me and for, like I said, everyone that we interview, the correlation that the successful people, that the multimillionaire, the wealthy people, the happy people, this that you were talking, the happy, healthy, and wealthy, they all love sales. And the people that they are broke and struggling and they hate sales and they don't want to know about it and they don't want to learn about it and they don't want to hire a coach or they don't want to do anything about it. So how you can educate the entrepreneurs out there about the real importance of sales, and this is something that shouldn't be taken lightly, and this is a lifetime journey, and every day you learn something about sales. It never ends. So what do you think that what can we do in order to make a communicate more effective what are the positive and the benefit of sales, so the entrepreneurs can understand what they actually have to prioritize? Yeah.
I think, and it's a really good point. I think the best way to try and raise awareness, not to convince people, but just to raise awareness, is by sharing success stories. Sharing success stories of entrepreneurs who may have been struggling and they've got some form of coach or mentor, and that's helped them overcome specific things in their career, in their life. But I think there are some people, I also think, Harry, that will never be convinced. They are always going to do their own thing, and that's okay. That's perfectly okay. But I think for the others out there, there's a large amount of people who maybe don't understand the benefits of a coach, don't understand what actually a coach brings to the table and how they could help them in terms of the specifics. I think there's some work for us to do to educate the audience. But out of all of those, I think the most powerful way is to share success stories and let them see what others are doing and how others have benefited from it.
Yeah, I think that it's more about educate and change this perception of sales. I think that sometimes it comes because sometimes, an inbound calls come to your house, somebody selling your product, you're not interested. And then some people might make, for a small incident that happen, they make a false belief in the mind that salespeople are evil, these people coming to sell me something. And they
Exactly.
create all this negative mindset. And let's face it, if the sale doesn't happen, society doesn't move. If you don't go to a supermarket and you buy milk and the person selling you the milk get paid, so until that sale doesn't happen, we cannot function. So it's sales is everywhere. It's since we wake up until we go to bed in our environment. So if you are an entrepreneur or you thinking to start a business, I think that you need to come from the point that rather than hate sales to love sales. Rather than I don't want to know anything about it, how can I learn about it? This is hard for me. How can I find a mentor? How can I find a coach? How I can find someone that can help me to this process? I do talks in sales one to many, which is the one of my trainings is sales one to many. So rather than one to one to many, and it's a lot goes into it in terms of, you know, persuasion, speaking, the presentation, and so on. But every time that you're speaking, you're selling either a product or an idea. Yesterday, I was looking in internet the debate from Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, and both of them they're selling. They're selling their
ideas.
They're selling the idea. So people need to buy in the idea. So every time that you're speaking, you're selling. So you cannot say that you don't know how to sell, because either when you are talking with your team about the vision, about the mission, about what the company is gonna, you have to sell that idea. And the framework, the skill set is the same thing. You have to persuade, you have to enroll everyone, you have to have empathy. If you go to the team and say, okay, this is the vision, everybody has to do what I say, good luck with that. You're not gonna go very far. You know? In the same way that you cannot go to a client and say, this is my product, you either buy it or not. Did you not sell like that? You know what I mean? So it goes. So tell us, Ian, if somebody loves what we speaking about our audience and wants to learn more from you about how to increase the sales, how to get that mindset so they can take the sales to the next level, how they can find you and how the process work.
Thanks, Harry. They can find me via, probably the easiest way is obviously the internet, www.klozers.com. I'll spell that because it's not the conventional spelling. It's KLOZ or Z for the any Americans listening in, ERS, KLOZERS.com, Klozers.com. There's lots of ways on the website. There's phone numbers, emails there. People are more than welcome to schedule a call. We give a 30-minute free consultation with anybody who wants to talk about sales. It's difficult because I think you're a bit like me, Harry. I love sales so much. I could talk about sales all day. Right?
I love it also. I love it.
There is no limit to how much I could talk about sales and marketing, whatnot. I just love it. So I have to, for obviously business purposes, keep it to 30 minutes, but I'm more than happy to invest 30 minutes just to have a conversation. There's no commitment. It doesn't mean that you're going to be a customer at the end of it. It's just a conversation to see if there's any form of fit. And if not, we would love to try and point you in the direction of another resource if we can't help you.
Yeah. And I think that we need more. We need more of these people that love sales, and let's take it and let's try to create something like this podcast, for example, to make something positive for our sales, because there is a lot of negativity, and especially between even entrepreneurs. I'm going to sometime in London to networking event. They invite me to speak. They are all founders. They are all tech entrepreneurs. They are, and I'm hearing them speak, and everybody's talking, like you said, about the product, about this, about that. Nobody's talking how they're gonna sell, what we're gonna be the route to market, what the strategy, what. I'm like, guys, I think you need to move the conversation. Why is gonna you're gonna struggle? This is hard like that, and so I think that the more we create this type of positive content, and people get more to get more close to sales, more close to love the sales.
Yeah.
And yesterday, an entrepreneur, I asked him, well, if I give you 100 in the podcast yesterday, I told him, okay, he was a tech entrepreneur. Yeah, he raised 15 million. Yeah, in his Series A. And I asked him, okay, if I give you $100, okay, how much money of this you will spend in product development, and how much money you will spend marketing and sales? And he told me, Harry, look, in marketing and sales, I'm gonna spend zero because I sell it myself. I said, that's why you're so successful, man. Because that's why he told me. I'm thinking, wow, this guy is gonna take 60%, 80% of the money to sales, That's the normal thing. He told me, listen, sales and marketing, I'm not gonna spend anything. I'm like, you sure? He said, no, because I will sell it myself. I won't put that on the hands of anybody. I will take the money to do other things, but to sell, I'll do it. You know, so great taking the verse. That was a great answer. So it's been a pleasure to speak with you. Thank you so much for your time. Yeah, for living in UK. So
Thank you, Harry.
Is it cold there? Getting cold or not yet?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh la la. Thank you so much. And I see you, for all of you following this podcast on Unstoppable, see you in our next episode. How brave entrepreneurs like Iain break that wall and achieve the first million. Bye for now.
Bye, everybody.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.